You wake up one morning and realize that the life you're reliving doesn't really feel like yours. It's as if someone else wrote the script, your parents, teachers, friends, or society itself, and you're just playing along. You go through your daily routine, wear the same polite mask, do what's expected, and talk to people like everything is fine. But when the noise fades and silence finally arrives, that uncomfortable question creeps in. Who am I really? Carl Jung believed that this strange emptiness isn't random. It's a signal, a symptom of something deep inside that's been ignored. Most people, he said, never truly meet their real selves. They live through borrowed identities, social roles, and expectations. And the saddest part, they die believing that's all there was to life. They never meet their own soul. So, ask yourself, is that happening to you? The self you believe in might not actually be you. Your personality, your desires, your beliefs, how much of that is genuinely yours, and how much was programmed into you from childhood? From the moment we were small, we were trained to fit in, to be liked, to behave. We learned which parts of us were acceptable and which parts we had to hide to be loved. And so, we built a mask, what Jung called the persona, a social disguise to protect ourselves. At first, this mask is useful. It helps us navigate society, play different roles, and survive. But over time, it starts to take over. The more we wear it, the more we drift from who we really are, until one day, the mask is all that's left. Living like that comes with a price, a silent cost that shows up as anxiety, restlessness, or a constant sense that something is missing. You might get the job, the relationship, the praise, and still feel hollow, like an invisible piece of you is gone. That's because what you're searching for isn't out there. It's not in money, love, or recognition. It's buried deep within you, under years of conditioning. The question is, are you brave enough to look inward and find who you truly are? Because that journey isn't easy. It means facing everything you've tried to forget, the parts of you that scare you or embarrass you. But it's also the only path to real freedom, the kind that can be given or taken away. Jung called this journey individuation, the process of becoming whole, of reconnecting with every hidden part of yourself so you can finally live from your true essence. Think back to your childhood. You were probably told to behave, to be polite, not to shout, not to get angry, not to cry, not to question too much. Maybe you were told to always be strong, to never show weakness, to smile even when you felt broken. So, you started shaping a version of yourself that wasn't truly you, but what others wanted you to be. That version became your persona, your mask. Everyone wears one. You act one way with your family, another with friends, another online. That's the persona working in real time. It helps us function, but when we begin to identify too deeply with it, we forget who's underneath. Think about how often you've pretended just to be accepted. How many times have you hidden your real opinions because you feared judgment? How many times have you smiled when inside you wanted to scream? That's what happens when your mask takes control. You stop being an authentic person and become a character in someone else's story. The persona can get you praise, comfort, and validation, but it can never give you peace. It keeps you trapped in a loop where you appear fine, but deep inside, something feels painfully unreal. The more you depend on it, the further you drift from your true self. So, if the persona isn't you, then who are you? To answer that, we have to look at the other side of your mind, the shadow. The shadow is everything you hide, suppress, or deny to stay acceptable. It's the anger you buried, the desires you rejected, the fears you pretended not to have, the softness you were told was weakness. These parts don't disappear. They sink into your unconscious and live there, influencing your choices, emotions, and relationships quietly but powerfully. Sometimes they show up as mood swings, self-sabotage, or overreactions. Maybe you've exploded with anger, felt jealousy, you tried to deny, or hated someone for reasons you couldn't explain. That's your shadow acting out. But the shadow isn't your enemy. It's misunderstood. Inside it hides your creativity, authenticity, and real power. Everything that was once shamed or suppressed still belongs to you, and it's waiting to be reclaimed. You can't be whole until you face it. The problem is, most people never do. They're too afraid of what they'll find. They'd rather stay comfortable in illusion than confront their inner truth. But what's hidden will always surface. Jung said that what we resist, persists. The more we deny our shadow, the more it controls us from behind the scenes. The way out isn't to destroy it, but to integrate it. To look honestly at your inner contradictions and make peace with them. That's the beginning of finding the self, your real, undivided essence. The self is everything beyond your mask and your shadow. It's the center of who you are, the totality that includes both your light and your dark sides, your strengths and your flaws, your desires and your fears. Jung believed the ultimate goal of life isn't to be perfect, but to be whole. But finding that wholeness requires courage. It means questioning everything you thought you were and realizing that some of your biggest truths might actually be borrowed lies. Many people avoid this because of one thing: fear. Fear of losing their identity. Fear of being alone. Fear of finding out that much of their life has been built around other people's expectations. So, they keep playing their role, smiling behind the mask, pretending everything is fine. Meanwhile, their shadow grows stronger, and their soul gets weaker. But when you finally face yourself, when you stop pretending, something shifts. You begin to live, not perform. You start making choices that feel aligned with your essence. You stop chasing validation and start craving truth. And that's when you begin to grow up, not just physically, but psychologically. Because maturity isn't about age, it's about integration. UVA probably met someone who seems stuck in time, a person who talks about big dreams but never moves forward, someone who seems full of potential but never follows through. They always have an excuse. It's not the right time. The world isn't ready. People don't understand me. Maybe it's a friend, a partner, a brother, or even your father. A man who looks like an adult but behaves like a boy, emotionally unstable, allergic to responsibility, addicted to freedom. You keep hoping he'll change. You believe he just needs a little push, a bit of clarity. But deep down, he's trapped, caught in a pattern Jung called pure eternus, the eternal boy. This archetype represents a man who refuses to grow up. He lives in an endless in-between, always getting ready for life, but never actually living it. He's charming, creative, spontaneous, and full of dreams. His energy draws people in, and for a while, he seems like the most alive person you've ever met. But behind that glow hides something darker, the inability to handle reality. The eternal boy wants life to shape itself around his desires. He waits for the perfect job, the perfect partner, the perfect moment. And when things get difficult or imperfect, he runs. He withdraws, makes excuses, and returns to dreaming. He believes he's too special for ordinary life. But the truth is, he's terrified of failure, rejection, and responsibility. If you've ever loved someone like this, you know how exhausting it is. You give advice, support, patience, but nothing changes. He resists every form of structure. He wants love, but not commitment. He wants success, but not effort. And eventually, he makes you feel guilty, as if you're wrong for expecting him to mature. He accuses you of being controlling or demanding, when all you're asking is for him to grow. But the truth is painful. He's trapped in his own fantasy of freedom. He thinks he's escaping control, but in reality, he's enslaved by his own fears. Unless he wakes up, he'll grow old, still chasing a life that never began. This isn't a judgment, it's a mirror. Because sometimes, the eternal boy, isn't just someone we know. It's a part of us. The side of us that resists structure, that fears commitment, that dreams more than it acts. Jung didn't describe the pure eternus to criticize, but to help us see the pattern clearly. It's not just a personality type, it's an archetype, a psychic force that hides behind charisma and the illusion of freedom. It refuses to leave the comfort of childhood, that mental womb, where everything is safe, where someone else is responsible. The eternal boy wants to stay there forever, protected from the world's weight. You've seen it many times, men who bounce from job to job, searching for something meaningful, who start projects full of energy but quit when reality gets hard, who fall in love passionately but vanish when things get real. They talk about purpose, freedom, and deep connection, but can't even keep a promise or pay a bill on time. It's not because they're lazy or dumb. Most of them are brilliant. They're dreamers, artists, thinkers. They have enormous creative power and a sensitivity that could change the world. But they're trapped in fantasy. They live in the realm of ideas, not action. They want flight without wings, success without effort, love without sacrifice. When the world doesn't match their ideals, they rebel. They blame society, their parents, their past, anything except themselves. Jung said that this archetype lives outside of time. The eternal boy is always almost there. He lives in a permanent not now, always waiting for the right moment, the right person, the right feeling. And so, life passes while he's waiting. Dreams that once inspired him turn into burdens. Hope becomes an excuse. And in the process, he disconnects from life itself. But there's a reason this archetype is powerful, because it also holds light. The eternal boy carries the fire of youth, imagination, curiosity, and possibility. That's why he is magnetic. He reminds us of the part of ourselves that still believes anything is possible. He is the dreamer, the creator, the spark of inspiration that makes us human. The problem isn't the boy within the man. The problem begins when the boy controls the man, when he refuses to grow, to ground himself, to take responsibility for his own destiny. And that's when the charm begins to fade. That's when the shadow of the eternal boy takes over. At first he seems exciting, full of light and spontaneity. He doesn't follow rules. He rejects labels. He refuses to be tied down. To many, he looks free, and in a world filled with pressure and dull routines, that kind of freedom is irresistible. But underneath that freedom hides something else: fear, confusion, and emptiness. A man who seems free on the outside may actually be running from himself. He's terrified of the ordinary because it reminds him of his own incompleteness. He escapes routine because deep down, he doesn't trust his own ability to endure it. This is the shadow side of the man-child, a restless spirit pretending to be free while secretly lost. His rebellion isn't strength, it's avoidance. His charm isn't love, it's defense. His passion isn't purpose, it's escape. When Jung studied this archetype, he saw that the eternal boy's path could go two ways. He could keep running forever, stuck in dreams, dependent on others, blaming the world, or he could finally face the truth, that real freedom doesn't come from avoiding responsibility, but from embracing it. Growth isn't the death of the inner child, it's his transformation. It's when the dreamer learns to build, when imagination meets discipline, when desire turns into direction. When the boy finally becomes a man, not because he has lost his spirit, but because he's learned to guide it.